Welcome to Pretty Pony Pastures Hooked on Horses series. This series is designed for the person who wants more information about caring for horses, regardless of whether you own a horse or not. This video is about the vital signs that every horse owner should know about. Vital signs are the indicators of your horse's health. Some vets call it the TRPs plus CAP. This stands for temperature, respiration or breathing, and pulse, plus capillary refill. It's very important to know how to take these because if you call your vet, that's the first thing you're going to be asked. So let's start with temperature. A person's temperature should be right around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Everyone is different, so anything between 97 degrees and 99 degrees is okay. The horse's temperature is slightly higher than a person's. It's at about 100 degrees, and 99.5 to 101.5 is okay for a horse. So let's look at how we take a horse's temperature.
So what we want to do is take the temperature of our horse. We have to do it restfully. And so we're going to take the tail and move it aside. Now, I could put Vaseline on the thermometer if I wanted to, but it's not really necessary. And so we're going to gently put the thermometer in about an inch or so, and then we're going to wait about 2 minutes. You need enough time for the mercury inside the thermometer to get warm. Now, if we were using a digital thermometer, then I wouldn't have to wait for 2 minutes. I might, but it probably wouldn't because it will beep when there's no change in temperature. But because I'm using an analog thermometer, then I'm going to have to wait for about 2 minutes until I can remove the thermometer and see what my horse's temperature is. All right, so our 2 minutes are up. We're going to gently remove the thermometer, and I'm going to look to see what her temperature is. And her temperature is right there at 100 degrees. Yes, it is. So we know that she is at the normal temperature. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash off my thermometer and put it back into the container that it came in.
Be sure to write down the horse's temperature. Now, I make up sheets like this to record the horse's temperature, and they fit nicely into a small binder, so you always have it handy. Now, let's look at how the horse is breathing. People will breathe about 12 to 25 breaths a minute. Sometimes if we run faster, we're going to breathe harder because we're out of breath. Well, horses are the same way. After they gallop, they might start breathing faster. But horses only need 8 to 12 breaths per minute on average, so they typically breathe a little slower than we do. Now let's look at this video to see how we take our horse's respiratory rate.
One way to tell the horse's respiration is to put your hands in front of the horse's nose. Now, we don't want to block their nostrils, but we want it in a place where we can feel them breathing in and out. Now, Buttercup is usually cooperative, but today she's not. And so I'm going to stand here and count her breaths for about 15 seconds.
And if this way doesn't work because your horse wants to get treats from your hand, you can do it another way. Watch this.
If your horse does not cooperate while you're putting your hands over their nostrils, the other way to do it is to come back here to their groin area, and you can see right here how she's inhaling and exhaling. So every time I see her belly come out, that is one inhale. And so we're going to stand here for 15 seconds, and we're going to count how many times she inhales and exhales. An inhale, exhale is one breath. Multiply that by 4, and we'll know what her rate of breathing is.
Be sure to write the respiratory rate on your horse's chart. And if your horse was breathing slower than normal, he could have dust or mold in his nostrils, or he might have some other problem. Now, let's move on to P for pulse. The pulse tells us how fast or slow the horse's heart is beating. We have a pulse too. A horse's pulse should be 32 to 44 beats per minute. For people, it's 60 to 100. So even though the horse is much larger than we are, its heart doesn't have to beat as fast. Here's how we take the horse's pulse with a stethoscope.
So we always want to take our horse's pulse, and I do have a stethoscope that I can use. The horse's heart is located right here behind their left elbow. And so what I want to do is make sure that her left leg is slightly forward, which it is. Put my stethoscope on. And then I'm going to place the stethoscope on her chest here. And I'm going to listen for her heartbeat. Like I said, it's right behind the elbow. There it is. And just like everything else, I'm going to count her heart rate for 15 seconds. And after I have the 15-second heart rate, then I am going to multiply it by 4, and I'm going to know what her heart rate is.
You don't have a stethoscope? Not a problem. Here's another way to take your horse's pulse.
Alternately, if you don't have a stethoscope, you can still take your horse's heart rate by going under their chin. You look at their chin muscle here, and then you go right back here, and that's where their pulse is located. And so, like everything else, we are going to count for 15 seconds the number of beats we feel. We're going to multiply by 4, and we will have our heart rate for our horse.
And be sure to write that number down too. Finally, let's look at capillary refill. The capillaries are the tiniest blood vessels in anybody's body. They're the closest to the skin. Now, the horse is covered with his coat, so we need to look at the skin in some other area. And we do it like this. We look in the horse's mouth. Now here we see that I'm pulling the lip away from the horse so we can look at the gums. The gums are an indicator of your horse's health. If the gums are pink, then we know the horse is healthy. If they're white, that's not good because that means there's a circulation problem. And if they're bright red, that usually means they're not good either. So what we want to do next is press our thumb on a horse's gum just above the top of the teeth and wait about 2 seconds. We don't want to press real hard, but we do want the skin to turn white. When the 2 seconds is up, take your thumb off and see how long it takes before the gum is back to pink. 2 seconds is a pretty good time. So the capillary refill is seeing how long it takes for the horse's gums to return to normal. If it takes longer than 2 seconds for the color to come back, there could be some problems with circulation or how the blood is flowing through your horse. Your vet will probably want to do that test again, but it's good for you to do it too. And then there is a pinch test that we can do on our horse. Watch how we do this.
We also want to check for dehydration with our horse. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the point of the chest, which is right here. We're going to pinch a little bit and let go. And I don't know if you could see it or not, but I pinched, I let go, and her skin came right back out, which means she is fully hydrated. If the skin tenses up for more than 2 to 4 seconds, then you know you have a horse that is partially dehydrated. Any more than that could cause issues with colic and other things because your horse is not getting enough water.
Remember, a horse needs to drink 5 to 10 gallons of water a day. If he doesn't, he could get dehydrated, and that could cause colic. But colic is something that we'll discuss on another day. So if you would like an equine chart that has all the vitals on it, like temperature and heart rate, send me a message and I'll message it right back to you. I can also message this vitals information sheet to you, so let me know which you would like. Both are handy because you'll never know when you're going to need to check your horse's vital. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like this video and share it with your friends. Subscribe to this channel and ring the bell so you'll be notified when we post our next video.